Hello and welcome to the Mr. Fisher test review. All right, so our first part of section A is going to start off with words that we're going to translate into the algebraic equation, and then here we're going to go backwards. So, for equals. So remember, above or below the words, we want to write what those words mean, right? So it says 4 equals the quotient, that means divide. Triple means times 3. A number is just x, and then and tells us where that divide sign is going. So 4 equals the quotient. Let's draw a fraction bar of triple a number and 6. Now for this one, for number 2, which I forgot to label number 2, we have, so when you're writing it out yourself, right, you want to make it nice and easy, right? So 3 times the difference, because we have subtraction of a number and 4 is equal, or you can say is 12. There you go. Make it easier on yourself. Just use the words. Now, is there a way for me to move this? Nope. Smaller. Move it in here. All right. Nice, right? So think about it, right? So we have parentheses, right? So we need to use the difference, right, for the subtraction. A number in 4 tells us what we're subtracting. 3 times, obviously, is times, is means equals. Now for these, right, we want to write the variable and the number, and then we want the correct symbol. So it's no greater than means it's less than, right? No greater than means it is not, oh, it is equal to 15 and below. X does not exceed. Exceed means go past, right? So, but guess what? We can go to 15. And then X is at most 15. Same thing, right? We don't go past 15, so but it's equal sign. X is at least 15. That means X has to be bigger than 15, but it also could be 15. Now for this one, right? We want to write our variable, right? We want the number that the circle is at, and then our arrow's going to the right, so we're going to draw a greater than symbol, and then there's open circle, so then it's going to be not equal to. So just x is greater than -6, right? So all the numbers bigger than -6, that's where we're at. All right, moving on to part B. So we're going to use our river first, right? And so we're going to move this over here, add 5, right? So some people are still not changing the sign, right? So make sure we change the sign. We get -2, right? Remember, you can always use the calculator that I'll have for you, right? And so it's -7 plus 5 gives us the -2, right? And then now our last step is to multiply by the 9 because we want to get rid of the divide by 9, and the opposite of dividing by 9 is multiplying. And then don't forget your negative signs because a negative times a positive is that, right? So remember in the calculator, right, you don't want to write -2 times 9, right? That it doesn't know what it's doing there. This is the negative button, and then I'll let you do the math. All right. Now here, right, we want to draw a river first, and then distribute, right? Make sure we multiply both things by 5. Equal to 12x plus 24. I like to move all my variables to this side always. So it's 10x minus 12x plus 30 is equal to 24. Move the numbers to this side. So we get 10x minus 12x is equal to 24 minus 30. Combine our like terms, and we get -2x is equal to -6, right? So we can only combine the same type of things. And then our last step is to divide by -2, divide by -2. We get x is equal to a +3. It's a long river. All right, so here we want to solve and state the number of solutions, right? So the number of solutions that we could have are no solutions, infinite solutions. Okay, so this is our word bank here. Move it. right? That's our word bank, right? So we're going to solve this like we solve any other equation, right? But remember, when we solve these, we want to make sure we move the variable first, right? So we have 4x minus 16 plus 3 is equal to x minus 9 plus 3. Now we combine our like terms on either side, right? So we have 4x, and then this turns into minus 13 is equal to 4x and then minus 9. Move our variables first, so we subtract the 4x, get negative 13 is equal to negative 9. Is that possible? Nope. So our answer is no solutions. Now for this one, right, we're going to distribute. So we get the 4x comes down plus the 6x minus 15 is equal to 10x minus 15. Combine our like terms, we get 10x minus 15 is equal to 10x minus 15. Move our variable. We get 10x minus 10x goes away. We get negative 15 is equal to negative 15. That is true, and so we have infinite solutions. All right, now you have to say no solutions or infinite solutions for these state the types of solutions. All right, moving on to the back. Now we have everyone's favorite literal equations. So we want to circle the letter that we're solving for and move everything else. So in this case, right, we want to first we can draw a river, right? But in this case, can we solve anything with a river? No, we cannot, right? Because there's no adding or subtracting. So we first have to multiply both sides by 7. Multiply both sides by 7, right? Because 1 over 7 is the same thing as dividing by 7. So the opposite of dividing by 7 is to multiply by 7. So we get 7x is equal to yz cubed. Now what's nice about this is that we only want the y, right? So to get rid of, we want to move the z cubed over, so we can, since this is multiplying our y, we can divide both sides by z cubed. And our answer is 7x divided by z cubed. And so once you have what you solve for by itself equal to something, that's your answer. So here we're solving for y again. So we draw a river, right? But now we have something separated by plus or minus signs. So we're going to move the 12x using the plus or minus signs, using the river, sorry. And so it's going to be minus 12x plus 9. And then we're going to divide by negative 3, divide everything by negative 3. And this will be our answer. Now, if you want to be fancy, you can divide each of these by negative 3, but you don't have to for right now. All right, moving on. I'm going to draw a river. So now we're solving inequalities, right? So we're going to do the same thing we did solving any of the other equations, right? So here we don't have any distributing, right? So we're just going to combine our like terms. So we have 3n plus 5n, that's 8n, minus 8 is greater than or equal to. So negative 6 plus 4 minus 6 is negative 8 plus 10n. Now, I always want, for inequalities, I want my variables on the left side and my numbers on the right side. So I'm going to move my 10n over here. I'll move this 8 over here. And so I have 8n minus 10n because it crossed the river. And then negative 8 plus 8 because it crossed the river. And so I'm left with negative 2n is greater than or equal to 0. I don't want negative 2n, so I divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. And so n is what to 0, right? Well, we divided by a negative, so we have to flip our inequality. Now, the equal sign is always going to stay, right? And so we're at 0, so we're going to make a circle at 0. I'm going to fill it in because it's equal to, and then this says to go to the left, and so I will go to the left with my arrow. So you have to make sure you draw on the graph or else you don't get the points. All right, so we're going to distribute for this one, right? Draw a river. We get n plus 8 plus 2n is greater than -7. Combine our like terms. Move the number away from the variable. And then our last step is to divide by 3. Divide by 3. This is a 15 if you can't read my handwriting. And so n is something to -5. Does it flip in this case because we divided? Nope, it does not flip because we didn't divide by a negative number. And so we're going to make our open circle at -5, right? So that we didn't gain or lose an equal to sign here. And then we're going to draw our arrow in the correct direction. All right, almost done here. All right, we want to find the value of x if the perimeter is means equals 58. So what's this side length? This side length is 4x plus 5. Side length is 2x. And so the perimeter, right, we're going to add up all of our sides, right? So our sides are 2x plus 4x plus 5 plus 2x plus 4x plus 5. And then there's going to be equals 58. Okay? So this is our equation that we set up, and then now we can just solve it like a regular math problem, right? So we draw a river, combine our like terms, right? So we have a bunch of x's, so 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 2 more is 8, plus 4 more is 12 x's. We have 5 and 5 is 10. That's equal to 58. Move the 10 over, subtract by 10. So yeah, 12x is equal to 48. X is equal to, when we divide by 12, divide by 12, x is equal to 4. All right. Now for this one, the perimeter of a rectangle is given by P is equal to 2L plus 2W. Let's first solve for W. So we're going to draw a river, circle the W. We're going to move the 2L to the other side using our river. P minus 2L is equal to 2W. Then our last step is divide by 2, divide by 2. So P minus 2L is equal to 2. Right? And now using our equation for W, right, the perimeter is 30 and the length is 10, right? And so we can replace the P and the L with our numbers, right? So we get 30 minus 2 parentheses 10 divided by 2 is equal to W. We type this in our calculator, right? So we take our calculator out. Nope, we don't. We just move it to the other side. Right, so we take our calculator out. We do to the top, so 30 minus 2 parentheses 10. We get 10 divided by 5. Divide by 5, that's for sure. Divide by 2 is equal to 5. So our width is equal to 5. All right. Now for this last one, we want to write inequality and solve for the number of shirts. So Teresa has at least $50. That means 50 is at least. So that's the smaller number. So it's going to be less, greater than or equal to this. And she wants to buy a pair of jeans. That's just one pair of jeans for 21. And then right? So this is at least. And spend the rest on t-shirts. Each t-shirt, that means multiply, costs $7. Right? I'll find the number of t-shirts, right? That's going to be our x variable, right? So we have 21, and then we have the and. Then each t-shirt costs 7, and x is going to be our number of t-shirts. So we're going to solve this just like we would solve any other problem. We're going to move the number to the other side. Then we divide by 7, divide by 7, and we get x is greater than or equal to 29 divided by 7. 4.14 shirts. And so she can buy 5 or more shirts. Wow, that's a lot of shirts. I think this is supposed to be at most $50. Someone wrote this question poorly. Anyways, all right, that is our review. So, looks like Teresa's got a lot of money to spend. All right, enjoy studying for